for goodness sakes, I mean, it's just something else to try and get pregnant. So how do your parents feel about this trying to conceive journey? Are you worried about yours and Larry's parenting styles clashing because of your age? Are you afraid you'll be raising a child while caring for Larry later in his life? When do you find out if your third IUI worked? I'm curious, when choosing the donor, do you get to see a pic of the donor before choosing? Hi everybody, and welcome back to a brand new video. Today I'm gonna sit down with you guys and do a Q&A. I figured I'd answer some questions. I also have had zero energy today. I'm super tired, which apparently is a side effect. Well, maybe this is why I'm tired. I'm blaming it on the progesterone and a side effect from that, but I just had no energy, and it is currently Wednesday and I have no video for tomorrow. So I figured, why not do a Q&A? Also, I'm wearing a cute shirt for once, but don't be fooled because I'm still in my cozy socks and my pajama bottoms, so it's more of like the top half, but I figured I'd tell on myself and tell it how it is. Larry and I did very recently film a Q&A maybe a month ago, so I'll have that linked down below for you guys to check out, and I'll link it towards the end of this video. So question number 1, advice for someone in their early 20s dealing with life uncertainties. So number 1, that was me as well. My 20s were, I of course am thankful, but they were rough. I was experimental. I was doing things that maybe I shouldn't have been doing. And then when bad things happened, I was like, it's the end of the world. And your 20s are kind of difficult. You're trying to be an adult, figure out things. My advice to you is basically take it day by day. You do not have to have it all figured out. And you know, the person I was at 20 is not at all the person I am at 29. Completely different. I mean, I'm still me, but the very big differences. And when bad things happen in life, you just have to focus on getting through them and talking to people that you're close with, or if you don't have anybody and you need to talk to somebody, there are resources that you can go to and reach out to somebody so that you can talk to somebody. So just know it is not the end of the world. It may feel like it at the time, but it's not, and you will get through it. How are you staying positive through the ups and downs of trying to conceive? Well, I definitely, naturally I am a positive person, but don't get me wrong. Sometimes I do feel down, and even though I'm excited and we're in that next wait period to see if the IUI worked, I always have like that noise in the back of my head that's like, oh, but what if you're not and we have to do this again? Like, there's always like a negative in the back of my head, and I always just try to push that away and just say, no, we're gonna take this day by day and we're gonna get through it together with Larry, with my family, with you guys. We're gonna get through it no matter what, and what's meant to be will be. When I'm having really down days, I try to refrain from social media, and I just try to like relax and Zen mode completely, do things that make me happy, whether that's listen to an audiobook or watch a movie or go for a walk. Larry and I have incorporated lots and lots of walking. Well, not lots and lots. I should say we walk daily. Maybe we'll take 1 or 2 days off during the week if we have something going on or we're out later. But I just think, again, with the last question, just take it day by day. If you are pregnant, will you purchase more specimens from the donor to have the same dad? Okay, so originally my plan and Larry's plan was absolutely to use the same donor and try again so that they would be full siblings. The new donor that we picked, if I am pregnant, don't know if I am, we're still in that waiting period. I don't know if I want to go through this again. It is an emotional roller coaster that I don't think a lot of people realize or a lot of people talk about enough, because it's something else. It's just crazy, you know? It's great. Like, I'm thankful to be able to have these resources so that we can have these procedures and try to grow our family. So I'm so thankful for that. But I did not realize how difficult it would actually be. So yes, that was the original plan. My answer as of right now is no, probably not. But that can change, of course, who knows? And then the other thing is the new donor that we are using only had 4 vials at the time that I purchased 1 vial, because at the time we could only afford to purchase 1 vial for the next procedure, so we only purchased 1. Naturally, I wanted to purchase all 4 and have them all, you know, to have multiple procedures if we needed to, but we're just not there. So I don't know. Ask me again, you know, if and when we get pregnant and we have a baby, then maybe, but I don't know. By that time, those other vials will probably be gone. So I don't know. Again, I just don't know if I want to go through everything again. Number one, financially. Number two, emotionally. And number three, like the physical effects and side effects of these medications and taking hormones. So I don't know. I don't know. That can change. Who knows? Can you guys do Instagram lives again? Funny thing, Larry and I were just talking about that on one of our walks, that we hadn't done an Instagram live in a very long time. So yes, we will be doing one of those soon. My Instagram is linked below if you guys aren't following. That's where I post a lot of like daily updates on what I'm doing and what's going on in life. So definitely go ahead and follow over there. And yeah, we'll do an Instagram live soon. Maybe this weekend. Maybe, no, it's Easter weekend. Maybe next week. Any new symptoms from third IUI? So as I'm filming this video, it's 5 days post ovulation, 5 days post my IUI. Last night I woke up at about 2 in the morning, absolutely for certain that it was like 6 a.m. and I had cramps, like period cramps. We've gone down this road before where I was like, maybe it's implantation, and then turns out it was like early period cramps. My period is technically not supposed to be due until the 9th of this month, so, but it can always fluctuate and change and come early because I am on hormones, so things are a little bit different. Did you ever think of any names for the, did I ever think of any future names for the baby? Oh yes, I have a massive list started. Yes, yes, and yes. As a first-time mom, will you be taking a hiatus from filming when the baby is born, and for how long? So I don't have any plans to, but I don't know. Time will tell. I mean, it probably would depend on how we're feeling, what's going on, how everything went during labor and delivery. But again, that is so far in the future, and I try not to even think about that or look that far ahead because, for goodness sakes, I mean, it's just something else to try and get pregnant. So I don't plan to take time away, not too much time, maybe a week or two. Like after Vlogmas, I always take like a week or two off. So maybe that, but I don't know, it just kind of depends on how things go. How many ounces of water do you drink per day? So I don't measure, I'm not really sure, but I always have like this big jug, and I usually have like 5 to 6 of those a day. So these are my 2 favorite cups. So these are what I carry around all day at the house. I'll try and link them down below for you guys. I think I picked this one up at Cracker Barrel and this one up at, I have no idea where, Publix. I found it at Publix. I'll try to look on Amazon and link them down below. Oh, if you were to get a puppy, what kind would you get? So Larry and I have talked about that. We are absolutely not getting a puppy right now. Not happening. But we love corgis and German shepherds. How do your parents feel about this trying to conceive journey you are going through? XO to you too. So they're very, very excited. My dad has kind of like, what is happening with my shirt? Oh, I rolled up my sleeve. My dad has actually kind of like stopped watching the trying to conceive videos because I think it mildly upsets him. I think he would die if he knew I was telling you guys this. But I think it is an emotional experience for them both. And I think that they're trying to be super strong for us, for Larry and I. But after that last one, that was a big, I mean, that progesterone playing the trick on us. I was unaware that the progesterone delays the period. So this whole time I'm like amping up my mom and dad thinking that we're definitely late with the period. I haven't started, and turns out it was the progesterone, and I was not pregnant. And I think ever since then, my dad's kind of like withdrawn a little bit, but they're very, very, very excited, and I know that they cannot wait. But they've been really supportive and really sweet and want to know constantly like what's going on in our lives. What was your biggest concern going into your fertility journey? I didn't have concerns. I was very, very excited. The only concern I had was financial concerns because it is a very expensive journey. Of course, IUI is the less expensive version. IVF is a lot more expensive. So that was my only concern, was finances. But I really did think it would just work the first time, and that is not the case. That is not the case. So advice to you guys going through this: try to not. I don't want to say, like, I don't want to be a downer, but like just be aware that it could take time to work. and that the IUI might not ever work. I'm trying to grasp that fact and keep that in the back of my mind that IUIs just don't work for people. So, I mean, I was just very excited to go through the journey, and I'm still very excited, but I'm much more like level-headed. It doesn't mean that I don't get sad or like upset every time I get that negative, because I definitely do. You guys saw that last one, and then I was disappointed when the last one got canceled. Will you continue to do IUIs if this round didn't work, or do you and Larry have other plans? I haven't thought about it. It's in the back of my head, and I know that my nurse said that when she gives me the results, hopefully they will be positive results, but when she does give the results, if they are negative, she is going to talk to the doctor before calling us, and they are going to give us a plan of action and other options meaning IVF, and the IVF range, they did tell me this last time, ranges anywhere from 10 grand to 32 grand, depending on what you choose to do. I know that my clinic did say that they usually know after a person's third or fourth IUI if they will work for them. Should I try that fourth IUI? Not really sure. Should I just hop into IVF? Obviously, there's that huge price range. Every time we have an IUI procedure done, it's $1,600. Every time you have an IVF done, it's between 10 and 32 grand. So that's why we chose IUI, plus the purchase of the specimen, which is around $1,000. So I don't know. We're just gonna take it day by day. I can't really answer that question right now because I'm just trying to, as they say in, ooh, what's that movie? Put one foot in front of the other. The Santa Claus movie. Santa Claus is coming to town. That's all I'm trying to do, is just one day at a time. I'm hoping for the best and hoping that we are pregnant this time and don't have to think about it. I know it's early, but have you thought of any costume ideas for Halloween? It's not that early. In my head, I'm excited for Halloween already, watching fall videos, looking at Halloween decor. I just can't help myself. I'm one of those people. Funny thing about that is I was actually looking on Etsy at some Sarah Sanderson sweatshirts, and I was gonna get a size medium, and I'm like, well, what if I'm pregnant? And if I'm pregnant now, come October, I'm not gonna be fitting in a size medium crew neck sweater. So I have no idea what I'm gonna be. Maybe I'll be a basketball if I'm pregnant. I don't know. Well, I ran out of disk space. So anyways, we're continuing on to the next question. For Halloween, I'm not sure yet, but I am thinking about it. Are you worried about yours and Larry's parenting styles clashing because of your age? No, that was never really a thought. Of course, we've talked about things and like how to discipline and what's right and what's not. And I think it all just depends on the parent and what you believe in and what you think is right. Larry and I have talked about things, and we're pretty even on like how we like to do things. I just think that the biggest thing is definitely communicate. That's the best that you can do, what you think you would like to do and versus what they would prefer happen. Yeah, I don't know. I do know that I want to try my best, and I don't want to say anything because I'm not even a parent, so please don't judge me or hate me for saying this, but the number one thing that I want to try to work on and control is like if I do disagree with something that Larry did or he disagrees with something that I did, the number one thing that I would love to do is not discuss it in front of the child, like walk to the bedroom, have the conversation about why I disagree with what they did because of this, and this. Like that is my goal on how to treat things like that if we do have a disagreement. But then again, I am not a parent. I am a cat mom, which is still kind of like a cat mom parent, but that's just how I would try to handle that kind of situation. But no, I'm not worried about us having like different parenting skills because of our age. Are you afraid you'll be raising a child while caring for Larry later in his life? No. I'm not worried about that. I don't think about those things. I don't think way in the future. I try to live in the present day. And even if something does happen to Larry and I do need to take care of him, that's great. Like that's my job as a wife. Like that's what I would love to do, is to take care of Larry if I need to take care of Larry. And I would hope that if I got sick or got cancer at 30 something years old, that Larry would be here to take care of me. I don't see it as like, I just don't see age, I think, as like a lot of the rest of the world or people do, where they just assume that because Larry's older than me that I'm gonna be, and maybe I am gonna be taking care of him. That's a possibility, but that's okay. I'm okay with that. And I don't know. Yeah, that's the best way I can answer that question. No, I'm not worried about taking care of a baby and taking care of Larry. I love taking care of family, and I wouldn't change a thing. How are you and Larry still so strong after everything that has happened and has been said to you guys? Well, the number one thing I would say about this is I don't allow the opinions and like comments, like negative comments or things from outside to affect my relationship with Larry. So somebody can look at us and be like, ew, you're gross, like you guys are so disgusting, which I've heard a million times. But I don't believe that, and I know what's true, and I know what Larry and I have together, and that's what's most important. A lot of people don't actually know who we are. They just see us and have their perception on what they think. And as long as Larry and I know who we are and we love each other and we are happy, that is all that matters, not the opinions and like the hate or like the negative words. You know what I'm saying? So if anybody's doing that to you, as long as you're confident in yourself and your significant other, try not to let the noise all around you change you. It's just like when you go for a job, like if you really want to be a dentist, but everybody's like, you can't do that, you shouldn't do that. Like, no, if you want to do it and you know that you're going to be good at it and it's your passion and you love doing that, 100% do that. Don't let people change you or change your mind. When do you find out if your third IUI worked and you are pregnant? So we find out April 9th, which is the day before my dad's birthday. Still have a week to go, a week and 1 day. Not that I'm counting. Would you ever come to Scotland? 100%. I would come to Scotland in a heartbeat. Yes, 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 and yes. How do you feel about only children? One and done over here, but feeling guilty about that. I say don't feel guilty about that. It's all a personal choice. You shouldn't feel guilty about that. I should never say you shouldn't feel guilty about it. I just think that maybe it's not fair to put yourself in that situation to make yourself feel guilty about it. I kind of understand what you mean though, because I had the complete intentions of using the same donor, having full siblings, wanting siblings for them. Like, what if they're an only child? But you know what? The fact that we were able to have that blessing and bring one little life into the world, I think is absolutely incredible. And if we have, my cats are about to make noise. Good girls. Good girls. You didn't yell at each other. So thankful for that. Just be confident in that decision, and you can always change your mind, but if you don't change your mind, please don't feel guilty about that. I mean, what's meant to be will be, and if you think that that's the right thing to do, then that's the right thing to do for you and your family. How do you think the kitties will act when the baby arrives? Great question. So we did have my cousin here with an infant not that long ago, and the kitties got their first experience with a 5-month-old baby. So it went very well. Luna got upset when the baby cried in a way that, like, she didn't hiss at the baby. She just wanted to be in the crib with the baby or on the floor with the baby. Like, she wanted to know and comfort the baby when she cried. Lexi was very, very curious but more timid. So when the baby screamed or the baby cried, Lexi would like kind of crouch down and then trot away. But both of them did really, really good. So hopefully they'll do very well. Tips for giving up coffee. Gave it up a couple of months ago, but daily headaches are awful. So I am one of those people that when I don't want something or I do want to achieve something, I do it, and I do it full force. It's really like a mind thing. Like, when you're ready to give it up and when you're done, you're done. At least that's how I am. A lot of you might not know, but from the ages of 18 to about 22, I smoked cigarettes. I was up to smoking a pack a day. And I know that's probably very shocking, and you're probably like, oh my gosh, I had no idea. But yes, that was me. Maybe I was 19 to about 22. And I just quit. I thought it was triggering my migraines, and I just was like, right, that's it, I'm done. Even though that was not the trigger of my migraines, I still got them. I just never went back to it, and it was just the best thing for my health. And if you're trying to quit coffee, I suggest replacing it with an herbal tea. That's what I'm doing. I started off with a chai tea, which is like the closest thing because it's kind of like got that spicy flair. But if you're trying to quit for caffeine reasons, try to switch over to an herbal tea. It's really rough like the first couple of days and the first week, but you'll eventually get used to it. And with the headaches, I say it's probably, you know, the caffeine withdrawal can happen. So maybe give you like, kind of like what I did. I went from drinking a lot of caffeine in my coffees to some energy drinks that had high caffeine to going down to chai tea, which has a little amount of caffeine, but you're still giving yourself that caffeine. And I drank that for a couple weeks and then I just kind of like cut it off. I think I'm on 4 or 5 days of no caffeine, period. I've only been drinking water and herbal tea. And then my vitamin water, which is, I've been drinking this for 2 days in a row. I don't finish the bottle, but it's loaded with B vitamins and electrolytes. But my advice is to just, if you want to go for it and keep yourself hydrated with water, and then try herbal teas. I don't plan to never drink coffee again. In fact, I probably will have a coffee here and there, especially around the holiday season. So if you do have one, that's okay. Let yourself have one. It's like everything in moderation. That's how I try to live my life. Even though I've started walking and I'm eating healthier, and I was, you know, I hadn't had a Reese's egg in forever. I had one last night. And I'm not going to beat myself up for that. And then today I'm going to try and eat healthier. And if it's all in moderation. That's all I'm going to say. I could ramble on for this forever. I'm curious, when choosing the donor, do you get to see a pic of the donor before choosing? That all depends on the donor site, donor clinic. What do they call them? Sperm banks. Some do, some don't. Some show baby pictures, some show adult pictures. And then others don't show any pictures, and they tell you like what they who they resemble. Like they'll say an actor or an actress, no, an actor of who they would resemble. And a lot of them, like if you want to see pictures or more in-depth information on that donor, you do have to pay. If you could live in any Disney movie, which one would it be? Which character? Ooh, that's a difficult question. I love Cinderella, especially the 2015 Cinderella. She was so sweet and so kind, and though her stepsisters and her stepmother were terrible, terrible people to her, she never lost faith in humanity. She was still very kind and still very nice. She ended up with the happiest, happily ever after, really. And she was just a sweet, genuine person. So I think Cinderella would be mine. What is the one place you miss in Ohio? Park, restaurant, or store? I 100% miss the metro parks. I used to love driving in the metro parks in the summer. I used to love driving in the fall, in the winter when it was coated with snow, and then all the fall leaves. So if you guys haven't been to the metro parks, definitely do. I used to drive through there all the time. And then actually Larry introduced me to this park in North Ridgeville. It's called Sandy Ridge, and that was a lot of fun too. It's just a really big, I think is it 3 miles, 2 miles? I don't know. It's basically a big old square, and you walk around, and in the middle is like a pond or like a small little, yeah, I would call it like a pond, and there's lots of wildlife there. And in the fall, there's monarch butterflies, and it's just really beautiful. And we used to go there all the time. Oh, Cedar Point. Oh my gosh. How could I almost forget about Cedar Point? I used to live there in the summer. Not literally, but basically. So that's Mansfield Reformatory. There's so many places. Yeah, we could go on and on, but I think those are like the top 4. What music are you currently listening to? So I listen to a lot of, I would say more of classical music. So I'm listening to, currently on Pandora, I listen to Game of Thrones. I listen to Harry Potter. I listen to The Nightmare Before Christmas, Downton Abbey, like very classical type music. If I'm cleaning or I'm like in a mood, it can be, if I'm in a depressed, sad mood, which I went through that phase the last time I got my negative test result when I thought we were pregnant and we weren't. I listened to Lana Del Rey. She got me through. I love Lana Del Rey. She got me through a lot of tough times back in the day too. It just depends on my mood, but right now I'm in a happy place, and classical music makes me very happy. What was your job before YouTube? I worked at a nursing home, and I was a med tech. So I passed medications to residents at the nursing home. Do you and Larry ever argue? You seem so perfect on camera. Nothing is ever perfect, guys. But we are a lucky couple. We don't argue that often, except for when he throws things at me. No, I'm just kidding. But no, we don't really argue. Not perfect though. Nobody's perfect. Do you have another Universal Day planned, and will you be going back to Disney? No Universal Day planned. I do know, however, that we're getting into that season where I don't really like to go because it is wretched hot. It gets hot. June, July, August is hot at Universal, but it's still nice. So we might go 1 or 2, but usually we go in the spring and in the winter and in the fall, and then I don't usually return until like Halloween Horror Nights, which, guys, they're doing Halloween Horror Nights this year. I'm so excited about that. Obviously, last year was canceled for obvious reasons. But yeah, I'm looking forward to that. Oh no, maybe I won't be looking forward to that. I might be preggers. Well, can I still walk around? I'll be like, I don't know. Maybe I'll have to think about that. Oh wow. But yeah, either way, it'll be exciting. But no, as of right now, no plans to go to Universal. Somebody asked how come we never go to Disney when we live so close? Why do we go to Universal so much? The quick, easy answer to that is we had passes to Universal, so that's why we went so often. We did not have passes for Disney, and it was expensive to purchase the tickets. So that would be why. However, since we've gone to Universal so many times, Larry and I maybe in the future would love to get Disney passes because we are so close. That would be a lot of fun. We do love Disney a lot, and we haven't got to explore the parks really. We've only explored Magic Kingdom and Animal Kingdom. I shouldn't say only, because I know there's probably so many of you who are watching that have never been. We've been lucky enough to experience those 2 parks. And Hollywood. We did, yeah, that's right, Star Wars. But yeah, I would absolutely, I feel so happy and magical, almost like childlike, and it is so cute to see how many elderly couples go there and they're just holding hands and walking through the Disney parks. It makes me so happy. It is the sweetest thing. It just brings like that child like happiness out of you when you go. If you've been, you know what I'm saying. Will you be taking a pregnancy test early? Yes. I'm gonna do the 5 days early pregnancy test, but I'm still gonna wait. I'm probably gonna not take one until the day before. So on the 8th, I'll probably take a test on the 8th. Just so I have it in my head if it's negative or positive. The test still could be wrong, but they have never been wrong for me in the past. Have you ever found yourself wanting to block negative people? Yes, and I do. I actually do, and I don't think there's anything wrong with that. There's a difference though between somebody who's like rude, mean, negative, has like no nice intentions, and then somebody who's kind of negative, but they mean well. And I've really learned the difference between the two. And if there's toxic people in your life that you're dealing with and you're like, oh, really don't know, like block them. There's also the option of like silencing them. Sounds kind of rough, but you can like mute, that's what it's called. You mute them, and then you won't see like their posts and their stuff. And yeah, there's options, but I do sometimes 100% think that it is worth it to block. All right, guys, that is all the questions that I'm going to answer. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, be sure to give it a big thumbs up. Leave a comment down below, and I will see you guys again very soon. Say bye, babe.
Bye, babe.